Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mortgage on My Mind. Today, we have an awesome realtor, Rudy Herrera. He is a Fresno-based realtor and real estate investor who has successfully built a diverse investment portfolio across the Central Valley. With over a decade of experience in the industry, his expertise includes multiple flips and rental properties and multifamily units, and he specializes in helping investors identify cash flowing opportunities and maximize ROI through market analysis, rehab planning, and strategic acquisitions. Rudy is also a licensed agent with deep local market knowledge, and he does a lot of first-time homeowners, including VA and FHA. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Welcome, Rudy. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about how you got started and then why and how you were able to push yourself in with the VA FHA market, especially in Fresno.
How I got started was before I did this, my full-time job was I was working on a Navy base here in the Central
Oh,
Valley.
wow. Okay,
And
cool.
I was working side by side with the military personnel there, and we were building aircraft there, working on F-18s and stuff like that. And so when real estate came up, I decided to give it a chance and I wanted to go for it because I heard a lot of VA buyers that were just having a hard time picking a realtor that they could trust. And they wish they had somebody that was within that could help them. And so I went for it, got my license, and started helping them out right away. Dove like headfirst into the whole VA thing and just learning as I go because nobody really had too much experience that I was surrounded with VA. And so I was linking up with lenders who had a little bit of experience and stuff like that. But it was more of trial and error and just helping out my coworkers and stuff like that.
So
And
cool.
yeah, and it was a really good experience, like the first couple of years helping them out, like trial and error kind of thing. And they understood, they trusted me because we've worked side by side for years. And yeah, and now fast forward to today, and I'm like one of the most trusted realtors on the base, and they still call me and they still come to me. So yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
That is so cool. So you're still on the base.
I'm still on the base, and the reason I haven't left there yet is because they still want the help, and I want to stay as close as possible to them so I can help them. Um, I
Interesting.
I was requested to stay as long as I can.
That's amazing. So what is it that you do on the base? That's just where you are located, or?
No, so what I do there is I work with the Navy personnel, actually maintaining the aircraft and making sure that they're good for flight, for missions and stuff like that. They hire civilians like me to come help out as a contractor.
That's so interesting. Wait, so are you an engineer? What do you mean help with the?
Yeah, so I got my license prior to getting my real estate license. I got my license to fix aircraft. So I have my A&P license. I've been doing that for the last 10 years and then
Oh,
jumped into real estate. So I'm doing both at the same time, which is filling up my schedule pretty much all day, every day kind of thing.
I
But
know.
I am not complaining whatsoever. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that I get to be there with them, work on the aircraft, and then after that, show them homes and get them in deals that they could be happy with and want to put their money to.
Got it. So VA, as either our listeners know or don't know, in my opinion, is the best loan out there. I don't feel like it gets any better than a VA. would you say that so everybody on the base is part of VA, right? Or not quite yet because they haven't been necessarily discharged, or what do you find there as far as like, why would you put them in an FHA if they can do VA?
VA, all around it's better just because it's zero down. They don't have to come out of pocket for the down payment. All they pay is their closing cost. And I feel like the benefits from that, it just opens the doors. Anybody who sees VA on an offer automatically wants to help them because they're our veterans. We want to support them.
Yeah.
And yeah, by far, they will always go towards VA, and I would always want them to go towards VA, just to want to save them money. Because if they go FHA, they still have to put down some money. They got to put down either 3.5% or 5%, whatever it may be. But
Yeah.
with
And there's
VA,
mortgage insurance.
yeah, exactly. And with VA, and depending on what their situation is, if they're like 100% on disability because they got out and they went through disability claim and everything, property taxes might even get wiped out. And so with that being said, it just saves them a lot of money. There's a lot of things that we're still learning with them on each and every deal. I just got done doing an assumable loan from one VA borrower to another VA borrower, and that one was a really long process. That one took
I
like
was going to
about
say
55 days.
55 days. Yeah.
Yeah, 55 days, and then we finally got that one closed. But the reason we went that route is because we were supporting a prior Navy family that wanted to help out another Navy family. And so we went that route, and there was a lot of hoops and stuff that we had to go through, but we got it done, and both families got taken care of, and it was awesome.
Now let me ask you for that. Did they sell at the exact same price the loan was? And if not, obviously your buyers had to bring in the difference in a down payment.
Right. So that's how it went. We were asking a certain price, and they offered less than that, but they were going to also cover with another loan. They pulled out two loans for this. They did the assumable loan, and then they pulled out another loan just to cover the rest. And that's where
Interesting.
it got tricky with that one because when it came down to closing, we had to make sure everybody was lined up perfectly to understand that they had everything in order. And if one lender wasn't getting communicated or missing a doc or anything like that, everything was frozen. Like we should have closed 45 days, but we ended up closing 55 days.
Not too bad. That's not too bad. I've
No,
heard of assumable loans taking much longer and then being even more problematic. It's more the
yeah,
second loan that becomes really the issue because nobody really wants to sit in second behind a VA unless it's an equity line. So
right,
it's or a HE
right.
loan. So
Yeah.
that's where it gets tricky. Most of the time I'm like, yeah, assumable loans are great if you have the down payment to cover the difference because equity lines can be very expensive. Just depends.
Yeah. So the assumable loans, they're doable, right? But they're not
Yeah.
as common as people think they are. I've talked to a bunch of realtors in my area, and I've only talked to maybe two that have done it before. And yeah, with me jumping into that, it was good experience. Now that I have the experience, I could confidently talk to VA borrowers and let them know, okay, this is the route that we could take. And if it goes well, then we could get you the house. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. It's not going to be like the traditional 30-day escrow. It's going to turn into something that maybe up to 60 days, possibly, you know?
Exactly.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
with the
you have to
knowledge on
be,
that,
VA is always going to be a little bit better, but FHA says they're assumable. And then depending on who holds that FHA loan, like with Chase, I have a client that was 60 days in and Chase said no 60 days in.
oh my God.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
decided because you're not family, we're not going to let you do it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the one we did it with was Freedom Mortgage, and Freedom Mortgage has been real supportive with veterans doing assumable loans.
That's so good to hear. Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so
so, yeah,
that was
go ahead.
awesome. That was a really good experience, and from that has catapulted me to talk to more VA borrowers who were on the fence, who didn't really have a whole lot of money, but they wanted to try to keep that interest rate because the interest rate that we did with this deal was at a 2.4. And they
Oh,
got to
that's
assume
why.
the 2.4 interest rate on a house that was near $500,000. And
Mm,
yeah, it worked out beautifully for the buyers. And then we got the sellers because they wanted to make a move to Mississippi. So we got the sellers to get that move, and they were able to get out there and buy their new home out there. And yeah, it was a little rough in the beginning, but it worked out at the end.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when you've done FHA, have you done any? Because I know it says that you do investing and stuff. So have you done any like 203Ks or renovation flips and things like that?
Yeah, we've done those before. I've worked with a buyer who was doing an FHA loan. It was a little tricky because FHA is really picky on what type of house you get. It has to be in a certain condition, and we couldn't get something that was extremely ran down and so they could flip. It had to be somewhat livable, right?
Mm.
And so we got him into this house,
It has to
and
be habitable. Has to be habitable. Mhm.
yeah, habitable. And we got him into this house and he did the minor renovations like the countertops, cabinets, flooring, and I think and he replaced the windows as well. And then he stayed in it for about 2 years. Yeah, it's about 2 years he stayed in it and then he sold it. And yeah, his equity went up. The property was in way better condition when he bought it. So just the condition of it just made it more valuable at that point. And yeah, and now he's doing it again with another one, but this time he's doing conventional loan.
Oh, okay. He can do FHA again.
I was told he could do it again. Yeah, just the
Yeah,
lender he was working with at the time, that was the better option for him to go. So he went with that route. As an agent, I could only advise. I can't really steer. Yeah,
totally.
yeah, but yeah, he's on to the next one, and this one he wants to get rid of a little bit sooner than 2 years because FHA, they require you to stay in the home for 2 years.
No, so nobody can make you stay in a home, right? That's what we always say. And
Yeah,
you only agree to occupy and live in the home for 12 months.
12 months, yeah.
12 months. So I've had many people get in and out of an FHA in 6 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so like I said, nobody can make you live in a home that you
Right.
things happen. A parent gets sick and you have to move and go be with them. You get relocated for work. You move in and you don't feel safe in the neighborhood. That happens
Yeah,
occasionally. The main thing that they want to know is that you moved in. They want to know that you moved in with all good intention of living in the house and being in there. And then basically something happens, some sort of hardship happens that you didn't stay in the home. But for all intents, you're supposed to stay in it for a year. But even 6 months mark is an okay mark with FHA and Fannie. The rules are the same between the two.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
People get nervous when they buy FHA. They're like, I have to live in this house for a certain amount of time. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well, you don't have to. You know what I mean? There are ways
yeah,
with all good intention you move in, but that doesn't mean you have to stay there for.
yeah. This particular client, his rehab took a little bit longer than what he wanted to as well. So it worked out for him because even though he was in there for 2 years, he was slowly fixing everything up. He didn't have a whole lot of money at first to jump into it, but he knew he wanted to fix it up just so he can flip it. And
Yeah.
then there was a lot of trial and error too, going through different vendors and contractors that come in for certain things, and it was trial and error for him because I know that he spent a lot of money on cabinets and something down the line got messed up, so he had to switch vendors, and yeah, it was a headache for him, so it was a good learning curve. That 2 years that he was in there definitely learned a lot, and I feel like this next flip for him is gonna be pretty awesome, and it's smooth. He's got everything dialed in now.
That's great. So he was in there only 2 years. Did he end up earning money? When he's sold, did he end up creating a net for himself? With only 2 years, sometimes that can be hard.
Yeah, in the area that he was in, with the renovations and the little bit of equity that he built up, he was able to get out of there with a positive. He wasn't negative in it at all. It wasn't a
That's great.
lot. Yeah, it wasn't like life changing or anything like that, but it
Of
was like
course.
something for him to experience and then to know, all right, this is where I need to go when it comes to offer. I don't want to pay market price anymore or anything like that. I want to try to go after the off market deals. And so that's
Right.
where I'm coming in to help him out and try to locate those for him.
Yeah. That because FHA can be tough, right? Because you're only putting 3.5% down.
Yeah.
And then FHA charges an upfront mortgage insurance fee. You don't pay it
Mhm.
out of pocket, but it does get financed, and that's 1.7%. So when you close the loan, you're really only closing at 1.7% equity, which is basically no equity.
Yeah,
So if you don't give it time to really earn some appreciation, it can be tough because it's not like you put money in the property to build the equity for you. It's just a waiting game.
yeah,
That's great that he was able to get out at a plus. But that's what happens in
yeah,
the market. That's what's so great about it.
yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And so then just a question for you, like a last question for the listeners. Like, what keeps you motivated? And I have a feeling I know the answer, but what keeps you motivated in this kind of shifting market, which is tough for first-time home buyers?
Oh yeah, definitely. So there's a couple things that keep me motivated. One being my family, right? I have a teenage son who's going to be starting his junior year in high school, and he's
Wow.
really watching my every step. So I want to be a really good example for him because for me growing up, I wasn't taught any of this stuff, like to have a mortgage, equity,
Nobody is. It's
yeah,
crazy.
finances, investments, none of that stuff. And so I'm teaching that to him. So that's one of my big motivations is just to keep going for him. Another motivation are all the coworkers, all the veterans who need the help, who don't really have the education on this. They're not educated on how to buy a house or how to go about it, who they can trust, who are they going to talk to. They think that they could just go to the bank and pull out a mortgage, in which they can, but they don't know that they could shop around. They don't know that they could talk to
Right.
other lenders, the mortgage brokers and stuff like that. And so I'm there to help educate, and I'm also there to take the stress away because a lot of veterans that we get sometimes come back with PTSD, and that comes into place when we're shopping and when we're going through the contracts and the offers and whatnot in escrow. And so I'm there
Wow.
to mellow things out and to make it a lot easier for them because I understand like what they're going through. I see it and I feel it and I can hear it in their frustration. I'm really talented at talking with people and getting on that emotional level with them. I feel like that's a little bit of my superpower. So with that being said, I have to be there. Like I made it a mission of mine to be there for them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
so lovely.
that's what keeps me motivated.
Motivated. Yeah.
It's enough to keep the drive going and to I feel like for me, I don't really get burnt out, like, we'll work all day over there on the jets, and then we'll do real estate after, and then we'll do real estate on the weekends and stuff like that, and I haven't experienced any burnout. Like, I feel like this is a passion, right? It's
Yeah.
this must be a passion because I love doing it, and there might
Totally.
be days, like, we're not making any money or the deals go dead or anything like that, like, I don't find myself being upset about it. I'm just like, "Okay, let's pivot. What can we do to help them out? Because we gotta find a solution for them."
Exactly. I'm that way too.
Yeah,
I don't like to say no to people. I always want to find the other way around it, always want to find the solution, be able to, if they want to get into a home, be able to figure out a way to get them in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I feel like the people that are you're surrounded with obviously have a big play in it, like, where I'm at, the brokerage where I'm at, Western Pioneer, here in Fresno, it's a perfect spot to be at if you're a brand new realtor because the broker is with you 100% all the way. So when I was going through the whole assumable loan thing for the first time, he jumped in and he was, like, right there with me to guide me the whole way, like, he was one of the only ones that has been a part of something like that, and so he walked me through the whole step. I've never been a part of any other brokerage where the broker just was right there with you, like,
yeah,
shoulder to shoulder,
yeah.
and I thought it was pretty awesome. So, yeah, to have the support like that is awesome.
That's wonderful. Truly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel the same at Movement. Like the reason I stay, I've been there 10 years now, and the reason I stay is because the support from processing and operations and everybody that works on the file just is 100% in with you, working to help the client and get the deals done and closed.
yeah,
So
and when you have a mortgage lender like you and a realtor like me and partner up or anything like that, that deal is solid. It's we're gonna go to bat for our clients, and we're not gonna let anything fall through the cracks. Yeah,
totally,
that's
totally.
awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a lovely chat. For everybody, Rudy's information will be below. Reach out to him. And thank you so much for listening and joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.